Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week at everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock with news of some big population changes. But first, in the US, Republicans in the White House called for slashing tax rates on business and the wealthy as part of a new tax plan that offers few details about how to pay for tax cuts without expanding the American federal deficit. Their top tax rate will go from 35% to 20%. If they can get this past Congress. This debate will now shift to budget deficit projections. Meanwhile, new orders for American-made durable goods increased more than expected in August, and shipments maintained their upward trend. But pending home sales volumes for August fell 3.1% year-on-year, and far more than markets were expecting. Supply is tight. As a consequence, prices are on the move up and are 6% higher than the same month a year ago. China has announced it is capping the population of its capital, Beijing, at 23 million by 2020. It is almost there now. It will do this by moving heavy industry out of the city and shifting it to a more administrative centre. The latest update of the HSBC Expat Guide has New Zealand ranked the third best place for expats, behind Singapore and Norway. Australia was ranked 7th. In Australia, their latest crane index has brought some somewhat surprising news. Housing construction continues to defy predictions of a collapse, with increased residential cranes across Australia and now at a new high. More new cranes went up on housing projects than were taken down, pushing the number of home building cranes up to 551 this month, from 547 6 months earlier. In addition, rising numbers of cranes on hotels, civic and mixed-use projects pushed the total up to its highest since the survey began in 2012, and as strong as construction during the Sydney Olympics 17 years ago. That can be explained in part by the latest population data out for Australia. That rose by 389,000 in the year. That's up 1.6%, with growth in Victoria up 149,000 and New South Wales up 123,000. These two accounted for 70% of all their population growth in the past year to March. There are now 24.5 million Australians. In New York, the US Treasury 10-year yield has raced higher today and is now at 2.31%, perhaps fueled by the US tax plan and expectations it will cause financial stress. The price of crude oil has inched up today to be just over $52 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is marginally down at just over $57.50 a barrel. Actually, crude oil prices are a remarkable 23.8% higher today than they were 1 year ago. At some point, we'll see that feed into inflation. The price of gold is lower today, down $2 to $1,297 an ounce. But the Kiwi dollar is higher. It is now at 72.3 US cents. On the cross rates, we're also higher at 91.9 Aussie cents and 61.5 euro cents. The TWI index is now up to 75. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.